Everybody's moving to Fort Mill in the Charlotte area. It's one of the most desirable suburbs in the whole area. Today we're going to find out why. This is the best vlog tour of Fort Mill you're going to see. So we're out here at Kingsley. This is one of the newest developments in the Fort Mill area. It's right off of Highway 160, where Highway 160 hits I-77. And this place is awesome. It's a mix of, we've got hotels, we've got apartments. You can see behind me here, apartments. There's a ton of shopping. There's a great nature area here. LPL Financial has their headquarters here. So this is a booming area, and really shows how much growth has happened in Fort Mill. Fort Mill used to be a sleepy little downtown that we're going to go check out in just a minute, and now it is a booming suburb of Charlotte. And this is not some kind of low-end shopping center. This is high-end stuff. There's an Epic Chop House here, which is like a high-end steakhouse. High-end cocktail place, Carolina Ale House. There's a bar and yoga studio. There's an indoor swim center here as well for kids. There's apartments, boutique shopping, real estate offices, spice aging kitchen, just anything you could want here at Kingsley. And this is just the beginning of Fort Mill. I mean, honestly, it's kind of the newest. This used to just be trees, and it's set up as a homage to Fort Mill's history as a textile town. Fort Mill is the home of Springs Industry, which was a huge textile company at the turn of the century. And so everything is like red brick, kind of set up to look like the old mills. Of course, it's got the big faux smokestack behind me here. But yeah, this is Kingsley. I mean, if this is a hub, this is an awesome place. People come out from Rock Hill, York to go to dinner here on the weekends. There's obviously like law offices, all kinds of stuff. Replay Brewing is here as well. So it's just a great spot, and really kind of a new hub in Fort Mill. I mean, a lot of people are out here on the weekends. It's like 12:15 on a Thursday right now, and it's hard to find parking here. But they do have free valet parking for anyone coming in any of the restaurants, which is awesome. You just pull up and toss your keys and you're good to go. You can shoot them a tip, but there's no fee for it. So again, just looking here, we've got a juice bar, there's an Orange Theory Fitness, Smash Burger, Cold Stone, makeup shop, a lash place, a nail bar right here, Sugarcoat nail bar, a Starbucks, of course, wouldn't be complete without one of those. So Panera Bread is in here as well. And this was all built out in like the last 4 to 5 years. So this is all, well, it's probably been a little longer than that, more like 6 years is when they got started, but really finished out in the last couple years, and it is booming. And so we're gonna check out several spots around Fort Mill today, not only brand new like this, but also kind of the historic downtown. We're gonna take a look at the couple different neighborhoods. Fort Mill people love the schools and love the houses you can get for the price. You are in South Carolina, so it's a little cheaper. Fort Mill is probably the most expensive town in York County as far as like average cost of housing. This is Napa. This is one of my favorite restaurants right here in all of York County, actually. But if you want any more information about the housing market specifically, you can always call or text the number here. Shoot me an email. Be happy to give you in-depth on that. But I mean, we're talking about brand new townhomes in Fort Mill, resale townhomes starting in kind of like the high $200,000, low $300,000 range, and then resale homes, new homes, run the gamut everywhere from $350,000 all the way up to $2 million. So we'll kind of check everything out here in Fort Mill today, and hopefully give you a better idea of what it's like to be here in Fort Mill, which is an awesome, awesome place if you want to be in the Charlotte area. So So now we're here in downtown Fort Mill. This is the old little main drag of Fort Mill that runs up the road right here. And it's an awesome little spot. It's got a lot of little restaurants. Of course, it also has a brewery. Actually has a brewery that has two locations. They've got their kind of main one here on Main Street, and right over here, they've got like a little special tap room where they do special stuff. Sorry, it's a little windy out here. We got the theater right here, which has been renovated into a restaurant. It's like a pizza place now. There's a Pobo's right up the road we're gonna go take a look at. It's got burgers, and this Improper Pig is some great barbecue as well. It's right next to the brewery, which is called Amor Artis. And like every small town that you've probably noticed here, we're under a train track, and that's how the downtowns are here. There's always a train running through them, and that's where the town started, right? So the train station would have been kind of the main spot, and this little caboose over here, you can see it behind me. Let me see, can you see that little caboose? Yeah. So that little caboose right there probably designates where the train station used to be in Fort Mill. Fort Mill has exploded. It is a small town. I mean, like in terms of both, not just population, but also like physical size. And but they were large enough to have their own school district. And at one point in the early 2000s, Fort Mill schools became the best schools in the state of South Carolina. They're still ranked super high. You can of course go check out schoolrankings.com, kind of see where they fall now. They're still way up there. But what happened was these builders that were kind of boxed out of Charlotte could come down here and get land for way cheaper than they could in Charlotte and build communities. So there was, at one point in like 2013, I think there was like, I want to double check this number, but I think at one point there was like 13,000 filed permits to build homes in Fort Mill that hadn't come out of the ground. So like that's how much it exploded. And it was called Fort Mill because of the zip code, but technically it was not in the town of Fort Mill. They were kind of in unincorporated York County. I'll pop that on the map for to kind of show you here, like how big the town of Fort Mill is compared to what everything is that we call Fort Mill. And check out our TKK video too, because I talk about how Fort Mill kind of pops and smashes into Fort Mill along the line there. So we're gonna keep walking up Main Street here, take a look around. This is called Tom Hall Street is what it's called here in Fort Mill. This is a cute little seating area in the downtown. We're gonna walk on up, take a look around and see what they've got to offer as we keep looking around Fort Mill today. So now we're up here at kind of the top of the main drag of historic Fort Mill, and we're gonna walk down, but I just want to point, if you go that way, it takes you to Indian Land. And if you go that way, it takes you to TKK and back into more Fort Mill. We'll do another video about Indian Land soon, but this is just like really cute. Just want to show you some of like the cool architecture here. I mean, this is just like a really quaint little awesome downtown. There's Town Tavern here, which is like bar food, wings, that kind of stuff. We've got Olives and Mud Puddle, which is a sweet coffee shop I'm probably gonna stop at before we leave because I need some coffee. There's boutiques. There's a restaurant up here called the Fort Mill Eatery, which is a great little like farm to table kind of concept. There's the Fort Mill Community Playhouse across the street. There's this awesome, I don't even know what this place is called, but I've been in here before, but it's like a super cool like antique shop, and they always have some really neat stuff. But this place is always, man, it's windy. I hope you can hear me shooting straight up between these buildings. So, and then there's a men's shop across the street as well. So it's like lots of really neat independent owned stuff and coffee shops, like I said, no like corporate chain type stuff. The people love coming out here, love to come eat at Hobo's, and love to go to Improper Pig, go to Martis, hit the pizza place down there. So definitely a must. Now for housing, there's not like a ton of new houses right near downtown because Fort Mill was built out like in, the early 1900s. So the houses surrounding here are smaller, older homes. We'll take a walk on a street over here and take a look at those. But you're not going to really see the new construction until we get a few miles out of downtown. But this is kind of like a destination nowadays. So people come here and shop on the weekends, come in for lunch, and yeah, we'll keep touring. All right, so we stopped in real quick. This is Walter Elijah Park. This is a big amphitheater that they have here where they do all kinds of shows and stuff. But it's a great big green space, dog friendly. We've got a kids playground behind me back there. And across the street from here, and I'll pop this on the map, is the Anclos Springs Greenway. And the Greenway is like one of the biggest selling points of Fort Mill. It is humongous. I'll put how big it is up there, and it's right in the middle of Fort Mill. So it kind of separates where we were in downtown, and we're close to downtown. We're like maybe not even a half mile. But it kind of separates downtown from like the rest of the new development in Fort Mill because it was a big land trust that was established, and they can't build on it. It's got buffers around it. They do all kinds of stuff out there. You can host private events. You can people get married out there. They've got a ton of walking, hiking, biking trails. They do big running events, like kind of like cross-country running, but also like trail running events. And I think they actually have a horse barn out there where you can do like equestrian stuff as well. So I'll pop up on the map to kind of show you how big the Greenway is. The Greenway is not a public park like this is, like Walter Elijah is. You do have to have a membership to the Greenway. It is not very expensive. You can kind of range depending on what amenities you want to have access to. And there's like a ton of different places. It's so big you can get into it from several different areas. So there's a lot of homes that are close to it that might even be kind of far away once you kind of go all the way around it. So we're gonna keep rolling, go take a look at some houses, some of the newer construction stuff here, and yeah, we'll see you around. All right, y'all, we're here at the brand new subdivision called Elizabeth. This is a Lennar home community in Fort Mill. One of the last new constructions going in right now. This is kind of entry-level price point for Fort Mill. Looking at a 1,700 square foot house. It's going to be about $460, $470. Again, if you need more info on houses, text or call that number, shoot me an email. But yeah, I just wanted to show you, these are all done and moved in down here. That's my car. I don't want to creep in anyone's backyard too much. But I'm going to spin around here so you can see this sidewalk ends right behind me, and they're still moving dirt back there. So this is going to be a big, probably 400 or 500 home community out here. And what's nice about it, in the distance over here, I don't even know if you can see it with the camera, but you can actually kind of see Rock Hill off in the distance. We're very close to the Catawba River. It runs back there, separating Rock Hill from Fort Mill. Super close to 77. You got like 2 stoplights to get to the interstate from here. You can shoot into the back of downtown where we were earlier. So this is kind of like South Fort Mill. And yeah, it's a great location. Lennar's a good builder here, and this is kind of what you can expect for new construction in Fort Mill. And I'm going to ride through, just show you some more from the car to take a look as we head out. Now we're going to be going over to Baxter Village. We have to talk about Baxter Village when we talk about Fort Mill. It is one of the area's only truly master plan communities, and it's on the other side of 77, kind of remember how I talked about Fort Mill is a small town, but a lot of that zip code. So technically it's in Fort Mill, but if you ask anyone that lives in Baxter where they live, they're not going to say Fort Mill. They're going to say they live in Baxter. So let's head over there now, take a look at what they got in Baxter Village. All right, so we made it to Baxter, and This is called Baxter Village, and Baxter Village was really York County's first large master planned community that has commercial mixed with multifamily, like townhomes mixed with single family, and it is humongous. We're on the other side of 77. 2000-ish is when this was announced, so we're about 24 years old now here, and they have this main drag that we're standing at here. This is Market Street that has all this commercial stuff. We've got the fish market over here, which is a really cool restaurant. There's a Starbucks up the road, a couple local bars, and McAllister's Deli. There's boutiques along the streets here too. And really, we had never really done anything like this in York County, and it is a huge planned community that goes way back past Sutton Road, and this was all like peach orchard back in the day. There was nothing over here when I was a kid growing up in Ruck Hill, and now it's like one of the most desirable areas. There's a YMCA back here, there's schools. Again, you are part of the Fort Mill School District here, but there are Baxter schools, and like I said, homes range everything from townhomes kind of starting in the low fours all the way up to some of the bigger, smaller neighborhoods within this master plan community can touch over $1 million. So there's some really big homes in certain sections, some really modest ones. So if you want to live somewhere where you can literally come out of your house and walk to one of these places, Baxter might be for you. And again, you get the great Fort Mill schools, and it is kind of its own community within Fort Mill. Like I said earlier, people that live here really aren't going to say they live in Fort Mill. They're going to say they live in Baxter. And they kind of tried to keep the same look of downtown Fort Mill in this Market Street area like we saw earlier, even though this is all fairly recent, right? So a ton to do. There's dance studios, real estate offices. There's a great little Killington's Pub right here. It's like a English pub type restaurant, and just a super neat place if you want to be in this master plan community. And again, Baxter has neighborhoods kind of within it as well. So there's like Baxter, and then there's some that are actual neighborhoods within Baxter. If you want more info, you know where to get it. But yeah, we're going to keep rolling just a little bit here. Head further down. Again, I'll show you on the map towards TKK, because we're basically next to I-77 right now. In fact, I think we can see the on-ramp from right here. So where we started in Kingsley is right behind me over here. And you can see starting, this is all I-77 right here. So right off the interstate, but the homes are not. This is just the commercial area, and Starbucks back up this way. So you can see that if you want to be somewhere that you've got commercial you can walk to, community stuff you can walk to, it's awesome. There's tons of like trails, and there's sidewalks everywhere in Baxter. It's all connected, and people that live here love it. And it's just, once people get in here, it's like they don't want to leave. They have a lot of people that upsize, downsize, and stay in Baxter while they're here. So they'll start out with a big 5-bedroom house with their whole family. Kids grow up, move to college. They've downsized into one of the townhomes around here. So people that like Baxter love it and stay here for a long time. Again, you're not going to have many new constructions in here. There's occasionally a one-off, but there's no like big builders building in here right now. So majority of it is going to be resale, which is fine. The homes are good quality. They were built by national builders when they were built, and some of them are starting to hit that 20-year mark. So they might need an HVAC unit, that kind of thing. But again, just a great little community within the community of Fort Mill. Our bright sunny day is kind of gone by the wayside here. It's getting a little cloudy, overcast here, but we're at Stonecrest Village, which is a large shopping development here in the TK Fort Mill area. And this is like a huge spot. You've got all kinds of commercial stuff back here. You've got a pizza place, Great Clips, Crumble Cookie, Edible Arrangements, Tropical Cafe Smoothies, Nails. On this side over here, you've got barbecue, you've got kids' tutors, you've got a Greek restaurant. Behind me back here is the Walmart. So this is just a massive area of commercial stuff. And, you know, hold on. There we go. Sorry. We're going to do a little walk around here, but again, this is a huge part of Fort Mill, and I'll hop over to the map and show you kind of how where these main roads are. So coming from Baxter on Highway 160 towards TKK, we run into a large commercial corridor there where you've got all kinds of restaurants, all kinds of gas stations, all kinds of stuff. There's Chipotle, Chick-fil-A, all that type of stuff that is right outside of Baxter and runs all the way down over here to TK. And again, I know it's kind of hard to see, but like I said, I'll pop it up on the map for you to see. But yeah, TKK, man, or I'm sorry, Fort Mill is just exploding. There's tons of housing off of Highway 160. The other main road that goes back to 77 is called Gold Hill Road. Show you that on the map as well. And you can kind of see between there's a lot of housing, and each one of them is kind of the commercial corridor for this western side of Fort Mill. So downtown is on the east side of 77. All this new stuff from like the year 2000 and beyond is on this west side of 77. So if you want to know more, I know I've kind of mentioned TKK a lot here recently. We are like right outside of it. You can check out my TKK video here, and if there's anything I can help you with, more questions about Fort Mill or this area of York County, feel free to give me a call or a text, and we'll see you in the next one.